Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Traptrix Yugioh deck profile for post-Lightning Overdrive. With the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set, we were given new support for the Traptrix deck in the form of a new main deck monster and a new Link monster, making just some awesome support for this already pretty crazy deck that focuses on the normal trap hole type of traps and the fact that they are immune to them and all the different plays we can do with this control style deck. So I'm really surprised I was able to gather up the majority of all the cards needed for the deck. So with it, I'm bringing you all an update to the deck profile and just the play style and how I feel is best balanced with all the different traps we run in the deck and all the different Traptrix monsters. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So with the Traptrix monsters, probably our best one in the deck since the beginning is Traptrix Vermilio. It's unaffected by the effect of hold normal traps, which a good amount of the main deck monsters share this monster effect. And when this card is normal summon, you can add one hold normal trap from your deck to your hand. And if this card is special summon, you can target one spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. So you have plenty of ways to special summon your different Traptrix monsters with the deck, but being able to just search out one of the many hold traps we run in the deck is just an added bonus for being able to then set up that card and have our opponent play around whatever back row we may have set up on the field for the good majority of our plays. So 3 Vermilio, I'd say, is definitely staple, just so you always have the search and special summon options. And for the new monster, I am running 3 of the new Traptrix Vesiculo. Unaffected by the effect of normal hole traps, you can only use one of the following effects of Vesiculo per turn, and only once that turn. You can send one set trap you control to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. If you control no cards in your spell and trap card zone, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one whole normal trap in your graveyard and set it on the field. So the recycle power from the graveyard is a big plus with this card, being able just to have that option to, like, if you use up all your traps, have this emergency option in your graveyard to set up one additional one to at least hopefully stop some of your opponent's plays, and just the option of being able to use your excess number of traps on the field, like if you have too many set up and you want some space free for some additional traps, being able to just special summon Vesiculo onto the field because of that, and then go into some of our Link options that we run in the deck makes it all the better for sure. For the last of the 3 ofs that I run in the deck, I also run 3 Traptrix Dionea. I thought of maybe reducing this number to 2 and then putting in a Traptrix Atrax. So if you wanted to have that option, it's always a choice you can make by just dropping the number of Dionea. This card's unaffected by whole normal traps, and when this card is normal summon, you can target one Traptrix monster in your graveyard and special summon that target in defense position. And when this card is special summon, you can target one whole normal trap card in your graveyard and set that target, but banish it during the end phase of your next turn if it is still on the field. And you can only use this effect of Dionea once per turn. So even if you don't end up using that card, it's still a great option for the special summon option with your Vesiculo, being able to set that card and send it, and then just special summon out this card to give you an option with all your different monsters on the field, including our new Link 2 monster, which is Traptrix Cularia, needing just 2 insect and or plant monsters, which both of these cards meet the requirements being plant monsters. For some of the lower numbers for the Traptrix, I also run 2 Traptrix Mantis. When it's normal summon, you can add 1 Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. It's unaffected by the effect of whole normal traps, and once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 set spell or trap you control, return that target to the hand, and then you can set 1 spell or trap from your hand. So basically being able to change out different options with this card is a big plus, but also just being able to search out our easy to special summon Traptrix monsters makes it all the better for consistency of just getting more and more monsters on the field to use, because not only do we have the Link option, we also have the Xyz monster option when we have 2 different Traptrix on the field. Whether you want to go for Rafflesia or Alomaris, you have both of these options available to you in the extra deck along with the 2 Link monsters. So having this wide variety of extra deck monsters to go into makes having the pure option for all these different Traptrix consistently work together for our whole lineup. And then lastly, for the Traptrix monsters, just 1 Traptrix Nepenthes. It's unaffected by the effect of whole traps and normal trap cards. Basically, with this card, if you activate a whole normal trap except during the damage step, you can add to your hand or special summon 1 Traptrix monster from your deck except for Nepenthes. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it's just good setup if you have this and another whole normal trap card for the play to special summon more from the deck to use. It's just a free pop on the field when you summon out Vermilio, or even when you use your Dionea for the option of when you special summon. Just more and more plays to go for. And then for the last monster that I run in the main deck, just the 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring hand trap of choice, you have the Traptrix monsters focusing on taking care of all the different cards on your opponent's field. So you can rely on Ash Blossom for taking care of any of their search cards from their hand or any cards they may want to set up in their graveyard. And that's it for the monsters. Normally we would be moving on to the spells, but I don't run any spells in the deck, focusing solely on the heavy trap lineup that you want to run with this deck. Also, for our normal hole cards, I have it mixed between a combo. I only have the 1 floodgate trap hole, but I do have 3 bottomless trap hole as well. You can mix and match these numbers if you're putting together the deck and you just need more options for them. You can go 2 and 2, having 2 floodgate trap hole and then 2 bottomless trap hole, or there's just the option of the preferred trap holes you may run in the deck. Floodgate definitely helps just by shutting down your opponent's monsters by setting them. The banish option for bottomless is always good. There's the time space trap hole option. Plenty of new ones we've gotten also just to mix and match with these numbers. But with them being searchable and just recyclable for the deck, it just comes down to player preference, which one you want to add for these specific spots. For some of the other normal traps in the deck, I also run 3 compulsory evacuation device. The amount of back row is very vital in this deck because that's the whole control aspect of being able to stop your opponent's cards, and being able just to bounce extra deck monsters with this one is a big plus there for sure. And running the majority of play sets of cards just makes more sense for the Traptrix lineup, which we run when we'll get to in just a bit. For more of the destruction power, I also run 3 Torrential Tribute. This card just destroys all monsters on the field when a monster is summoned. Now, the main deck Traptrix monsters are just unaffected by hole traps, but with the option of your extra deck monsters, a good majority of them are unaffected by trap effects in general, not just the hole traps. And you'll get a majority of these out on the field already, like Rafflesia, when it has Xyz material, it's unaffected by trap effects, so they'll still be able to remain on the field when you activate cards like Torrential Tribute, being a big plus there, definitely. For more attack stopping against my opponent, I also run the 3 Storming Mirror Force. All these cards running playsets just for that option of being able to bounce my opponent's cards back to their hand, and the more extra deck monsters they have, the scarier this card is also for just being able to stop those plays. And with all these play sets and more search options available, I still run the 3 Traptrix. Also, you banish 1 normal trap from your deck, except for Traptrix, and set 1 card with the same name directly from your deck. Also, it can be activated this turn. So being able to activate Torrential or compulsory the turn you set it is very, very scary, because then you can just set up your Traptrix, activate it, and then have that play to go for against your opponent. And that's why I also suggest running more of the equal numbers, so 2 Floodgate and 2 Bottomless, because then you can banish the 1 to search out properly with Traptrix also, and not just having to rely on your Traptrix monsters. For more defense with our material on the field, I also run 2 Solemn Judgment, just being able to stop my opponent's own spell or traps that would destroy my resources on the field. You don't really use life points for too much in this deck, so this is just a good option to have, along with the 3 Solemn Strike, stopping monster effects. If I just have, monsters on my opponent's field that are unaffected by trap cards, the Solemn Strike definitely does come in handy to stop those plays. And I also run 1 Imperial Order. We don't even run spells in this deck, so this card will not affect you at all in any way. It will definitely stop your opponent. And the life point burn will be one thing you have to worry about with this deck, but still having the option for just being able to stop your opponent's spells is very, very vital for you to then make your play and go from there. With the last of the trap lineup just being 3 Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine. This card can be activated when you have no traps in your graveyard on the turn you set it, and it becomes a level 4 monster on the field. And with it, you just need the option of, going into your Xyz plays with it, because Rafflesia just needs 2 level 4 monsters, and Alomaris just needs 2 or more level 4 monsters also. Being able to have your Traptrix monster and then set this card and activate it just gives you that additional monster more quickly on the field for you to utilize. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I definitely do want to run 3 Traptrix Sarah. I'm still waiting on the 3rd one to come in the mail, so I will still want to do the deck profile with the 2 that I had. I will show you what monster in the extra deck you can take out for a 3rd copy of this card, because like I said, you definitely do want to run 3 of it. You need 1 non-link Traptrix monster to make it. It's unaffected by trap effects, and you can only use each of the following effects of Sarah once per turn, and not during the damage step. If a normal trap is activated, you can special summon 1 Traptrix Traptrix monster from your deck with a different name than this card you control. And if another Traptrix monster effect is activated, you can set one whole normal trap directly from your deck. So with this option, when you activate your Shade Brigandine on the field, that gives you the option then, if you just had the one Traptrix monster, to summon out another one onto the field, having Sarah set up, and then going for one more of your Xyz monsters with this play. I'll show the full play at the end of the video also. With the new Link monster being Traptrix Calaria, you need 2 insect and or plant type monsters to make it. This Link monster also is unaffected by the effects of trap cards, but you still can use Sarah to make it, which is a big plus there also. And you can only use each of the following effects of Calaria once per turn. After you activated a whole normal trap, you can set it instead of sending it to the graveyard. And during your end phase, you can target one Traptrix monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense. Resources working very, very well with Myrmilio for the spell and trap destruction against your opponent, but also being able to rely on this card for more of the setup option for your whole traps, just being able to activate and then set them back on the field gives you resources to reuse over and over again. For the other Link monsters, I also run 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and the 1 Borrelsaur Dragon. If you were to add in a third Sarah, I would recommend taking out the Nightmare Phoenix. You really don't need the spell and trap destruction as much as you do for some of the other plays, but the Link arrows do work very, very well with all these cards and Calaria and Sarah for just co-linking and drawing cards additionally when you do make these cards, but it's player preference on which one you want to take out from the deck. For the Xyz monsters, I run 2 Traptrix Rafflesia. It's unaffected by the effects of traps while you have an Xyz material on it, and also it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects except for Traptrix Rafflesia for your other Traptrix monsters. And with this card, with your opponent cannot target Traptrix monsters you control except for Rafflesia with card effects, and once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card and send 1 whole normal trap from your deck, and then it activates as if the conditions were met for that card from your deck for this card's effect. So it's more of a defense card, being able to activate those trap cards, but still great for the easy setup that you can provide, and the setup that Calaria and Sarah also provide for this card makes it that much easier for you to summon it out onto the field. I also run 1 Traptrix Allomeris. You need 2 or more level 4 monsters. This card is unaffected by trap effects while it has Xyz material. You can use each of the following effects of Allomeris once per turn. With this card, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card to special summon 1 level 4 insect or plant monster from your graveyard. And if an opponent's monster leaves the field because of a card effect and is now in the graveyard or banished, except during the damage step, you can detach 1 material from this card and target one of them and special summon it to your field. So depending on what that resource was, you can go for more and more extra deck monsters. That's why I also like running the generic lineup of Link monsters, because then you have these options to go into with the cards you special summon from your Allomeris onto the field. For some of the more generic Xyz monsters, I also run 1 Baguska, all the trap lineup, and then you can just play easy defense with this card against your opponent. 1 Time Thief Redoer, I do like this card to use with Brigandine, giving you the additional trap option when you Xyz into it. 1 Tornado Dragon, and also 1 Abyss Dweller to finish off the extra deck for the Traptrix. As for some of the go-to plays, like I said, sometimes you just need that 1 Traptrix monster and the 1 Trap Shade Brigandine in your hand for that summon. Now, you can additionally have the setup and just go for your Xyz monster there, but one additional play is you can summon out your Traptrix Myrmilio and then use the effect of this card to search out your whole trap on the field, and then you can go for the Link 1 option using your Myrmilio, summoning out your Traptrix Sarah on the field. And with this card, when it is summoned for the second one, if a normal trap is activated, which you can activate Shade Brigandine since you don't have any traps in your graveyard yet, turn 1, you'll have the Myrmilio in your graveyard, activating this card and special summoning it, and then giving you the option to special summon a Traptrix monster from your deck with a different name from the cards you control. So then you can go for an additional card on the field, summoning out your Dionea onto the field. For the option of the special summon, being able to give you more and more options when special summon, it can give you the recycle power, but you can also go for Vesiculo just for the fact that you will then have no cards on the field for the Xyz summon, being able to then overlay these 2 into your Xyz monster of choice, being able to go to Rafflesia, sets you up for that play, and then depending on what other additional monsters you have in your hand, just an added bonus for that setup. And then you also have the option to go into your Link 2 monster, because don't forget you've added the whole trap into your hand. So if you go for the Link 2 using these monsters on the field, you can then summon out your Calaria, having the Floodgate trap hole set up on the field, and when you activate it, it'll just get reset on the field thanks to Calaria also, and giving you more of a special summon option to target a Traptrix monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So then you can special summon a Myrmilio and then destroy your opponent's own spell and traps. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, I was definitely surprised I was able to finish this deck as quickly as I could. I was just happy that I got them because I was definitely excited to rebuild this deck also. And until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.